Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you another tutorial on how to paint a rifle. As you can see behind me, I have my SBR here with my 11.5-inch BCM upper. I'm going to be painting it today. Sometimes it takes a lot to finally make the decision to paint a rifle because obviously a lot of rifles look good black. But I finally, decided to make that decision, and I'm going to be using a different method than I've used before. Before you've seen me basically make my own stencils for multicam paint jobs and things like that. However, this time I'm going to be using a stencil pack from Montactical. Montactical has a huge selection of different themes that you can get for stencils. The one that I'm going with is their Viking theme. I've always loved Norse mythology. I think it's really cool, and I've loved the warrior aspect of it. So I think it'll be fairly appropriate on this SBR. Now I've already done some testing with it to kind of figure out how I want to use the stencils and what color scheme I'm going to go with, which I highly recommend you do. So if I were you, I would order a couple extra stencils just so you can practice on a piece of cardboard like I did, just to make sure the scheme's going to work out just the way you want it. And I can definitely say that I've learned a couple lessons of how not to do things based off this alone. So again, I recommend you do that as well. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do a base coat first. Then I'm going to lay down the stencils, and then I'm going to do two different colors over the top of that. Before I use each color, I'm going to roll it in front of the camera so you can see exactly what I'm doing, and then I'll probably do a time lapse while I'm actually doing the painting so you're not having to watch the whole thing. Obviously I'm indoors right now. It's going to be a lot nicer doing it this way because being in Oregon right now, it's pouring down rain outside. So I'm going to open up some of the doors just to get some good ventilation through while I paint this thing. But yeah, let's hope that things are going to go the way I want it to. Now first, I also want to run over some of the prep work that I did. Obviously you can do a lot more as far as prep work goes, but what I did is I just taped over the lenses for my red dot. So I obviously don't want to get any paint on those. I taped over the little sight holes, peepholes for my rear sight, as well as the post on my front sight. And then on my flashlight that I'm going to have painted off to the side as well, I've covered the bezel on that. Obviously you don't want to get any paint on any area that's really important. I've inserted a magazine just to kind of seal up the mag well, and also have a magazine that's painted to match the theme. And I've closed my dust cover. Really, other than that, oh, and I've also inserted a piece of paper into the barrel from the outside so that it makes sure that nothing gets into the barrel, because I don't want anything in there. Other than that, I'm going to leave everything else as is. Everything else should be fine. I shouldn't need to make any other alterations before I start, but hopefully this will turn out as good as it does in my mind. If not, Montactical also will do painting services for people. So if I totally butcher this thing, I'm probably going to end up sending it to Montactical to have him do that. He does awesome work. I'll have all the links below for you to be able to check that out. All right, so enough wasting time. Let's go ahead and get the base coat on and keep moving from there. First color I'm going to be using is this Rust-Oleum Camouflage. This one specifically is their khaki color. It's a little bit of a darker earth color. It's not the lightest one they have. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a bunch of stencils on here now. Got some Volk knots, Valhalla, Mjolnir on this side with some Odin's horns. So now that I have these on here, I'm going to hang this thing back up, and then I'm going to do my two other colors that I'm going to do over this. After that, I'm going to let it sit for plenty of time, and then I'm going to peel off what's left. And hopefully we'll be left with something pretty cool looking, but that remains to be seen. As far as how to actually apply these stickers, Montactical has a bunch of videos on his YouTube channel as to how to do that. I would highly recommend watching his videos because I definitely would do some things different than how I did it. Namely, using transfer paper probably would have made this a lot easier. But nonetheless, I'm definitely optimistic about how this thing will turn out. But time will tell, and hopefully it'll be as good as it is in my mind. Okay, next color going on is again from Rust-Oleum in their Camouflage line. This is the Deep Forest Green. Hopefully you can read that. Okay, so my last color is going to be this Rust-Oleum Camouflage again, this time in the earth brown color. Again, hopefully this will complement the other color as well, but we'll find out. Obviously now everything is pretty much done. All I have to do is remove the stencils. As you can see, I went with a green and brown for the main color scheme, but a little sneak peek, I already peeled the other side to show you what we're kind of dealing with. And definitely could have done a little bit better, but I still think that that came out looking really cool. So I'm going to take you upstairs to a better lit area. We'll peel off this other side, and then we'll talk about the lessons I learned and the conclusions that I've come to. Okay, so in order to remove the stencils, I'm just using my pick here. This is the same pick I used to apply the stencils. So I'm just gonna kind of start from the low-hanging fruit and slowly peel this stuff off. Okay, so here we go, all done. Got all the stencils taken off. I think it came out really well. I think the colors complement each other well. As you can see, I had the Volk nut, more nut, less on this side with the Valhalla. And then on the other side, I have the Mjolnir and one of Odin's knots. Honestly, I think that if you're gonna paint yourself and you want to have some sort of design, stencils are definitely the easiest way to go, especially if you're doing rattle can like I was. And if you're looking for stencils, Montactical is definitely the place to go. Like I said, he's got all different kinds of themes. He's got Viking, he's got Spartan, he's got, I mean, everything under the sun. Also a bunch of different camo patterns as well. And like I said, I'll have a link to his YouTube channel. He's got tutorials on how to do this much better than I did. If you look closely at some of the details, you can tell that I there's definitely room for improvement in my technique. All that said though, I'm really happy with the way it came out. Again, time will tell how durable this will be. But again, I'm fairly confident with my experience with spray paint in the past that this will hold up just fine. Now, I will say if you are nervous about doing it, you can just send your gun to Montactical and he'll Duracoat it for you. And if you're gonna do any sort of coating, Duracoat is the way you want to go. His coatings hold up extremely well from others that I've seen in the past. A couple of my friends have his work on their guns, and they are holding up incredibly well, which honestly surprised me. Duracoat is pretty insane. But yeah, all I got to do now is just reinstall my flashlight back on this other side, and this thing will be good to go, ready to hit the range. I'm probably going to let it cure for quite a while longer before I actually try shooting it, just because even though it's dry to the touch, it's still a little bit tacky in some areas. But I'll try to show you some full pictures of this thing. But again, I think it came out really, really well. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and throw those in the comment section below. Go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments as well. Is this something you could see yourself doing? But anyway, as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.